What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the day after our first defeat of the season, and like I said, at this point, definitely not our last one. I think the second one will follow on Wednesday. But it's not the talking point because there's talks about Spalletti and Palladino, and I will talk about why at this moment in time it's not really a thing because that all dropped the moment the final whistle blew and everybody had inside info. That's not how it works. But we need to talk about it because it's relevant to the Tudor situation. Because after the post game, or excuse me, after the game, during the post game, he said some things that are unacceptable as a Juve coach. Even though he made some points that I do agree with him 100%, even Cesc Fabregas needed to come out and say, well, you're Juve, you shouldn't be really complaining, to be honest. You always need to win. And he's right, Fabregas, you always need to win. That's what that's what this team is about. And you cannot say, and this is what Tudor said, we actually had some good moments against a team that plays good football well. You're playing Como away with all due respect, and I can accept losing. You can lose games throughout the season. It's normal. That's part of the game, you know? However, the way we're playing, the way you lose this game, you cannot say certain things post game. It's unacceptable, but he's getting away with it. I don't like that. It's not all his fault. We don't change coach and we start winning games. That's not okay. That's not gonna happen. You still have players like Cambiasso who talk a lot but show absolutely nothing. You know, you have extending Gatti, but then you're playing Rugani, who is also not good. But like that's the situation of the club. You have a player in João Mario, the club Tudor doesn't want to use, and when he uses him, the game is already lost most of the time. There are fundamental issues with this squad, but also with this coaching. But before we get into it, as always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's go. First off, thanks already for asking for my arm. It's not broken, thank God, but I cannot move it for now. So we will see in a bit. But when you lose away to Como, questions will be asked. And the moment the final whistle blew and Calcio Mercato had a story that Modeste met with Palladino a couple of days ago, and then the other journalists saying, well, Spalletti is the first choice and contacts are intensifying. That's not really how it works. And maybe it's true. Maybe they want Spalletti, maybe they want Palladino, whatever. But that's not how it works. He is on the hot seat, Tudor. But even if we want, he remains on the hot seat because he's not the coach this management wanted. Giuntoli didn't even want Tudor. Giuntoli tried for Mancini and Pioli. Both said no. No short-term deal. Fine. New management comes in. They try for Conte. Conte was thinking about it and then decided to stay at Napoli. And we tried for Gasperini, but it was way too late. He was already in advanced talks with Roma, and everything was set. So the club, it's clear the management doesn't really like Tudor or doesn't rate Tudor to that extent. And I as well, I don't think Tudor is a top coach. I don't think he will ever be a top coach, you know. But when we look worse, forget like the squad, is it perfect? No, it's built in a bad way, etc. So whoever comes in will need to deal with those things as well. I'm not saying that, but when you vacate the midfield and you ask Locatelli to do basically everything, that's not really on squad build. That's on your that's your decision. You know, that's one of those things, and we struggle with that heavily when Jonathan David is just isolated, or whoever, excuse me, because you play with Conceição and Yildiz glued to the sideline and ask them to do what you're asking to do. A striker will struggle. That's that part. So whoever comes in will struggle with those things. Post game, he said, you know, we lack experience, and he asked for experience during the summer, and I agree, we need experience because I don't think Cambiasso is a leader. Like Perin and Pinsoglio on crutches, traveling with the team, these guys are not leaders. These guys have not won anything. How are they going to lead a young team? It's impossible. It's mind-boggling. So we needed experience, and I agree with that. That's why I said when Modric was there, I was like, we should be getting Modric. Or Akanji, I was like, we need experience. We should be going for a player like Akanji, even on a one-year loan deal. You know, you need to get experience in this team. We haven't done that. You cannot fix that. It is what it is, you know. So Spalletti comes in, he will have those same issues. Palladino comes in, he will have those same issues. Excuse me. But can we all agree that this team looks like there's absolutely no life in this team? The way we start the game, the second half, there was no intensity, there was no feeling that, oh my God, we're gonna turn this around. We're trying to put in an effort. That's not there. You know, there's no fight in this team anymore. Yeah, we did it against Dortmund and than Inter, excuse me. But when you think about those games, if we didn't beat Inter, would anyone be, oh my God, or Dortmund got back to that point? Genoa hit the crossbar in the last minutes. Like Villarreal in the first half, insane. Like, Milan, the chances they missed. Like, forget about the results. When people are like, oh, we're undefeated, 5 draws in a row. It was a problem with Motta. It's a problem right now. Same problem. But look at the performances. The performances were closer to an L than a win in all of them, basically. That, like, the L was just waiting to happen. It was going to happen, period. And I agree, again, we sold so many players and we only have a two-man midfield. But then he makes subs late. He made weird decisions when games are gone. He tries to defend that. Post game, he comes out and said, I don't agree. I don't know. I don't think you guys watch the same game. The moment a coach says that, he's kind of losing it and he doesn't really know what to do at this moment in time. Yeah, we watched the game and I watched the game with an arm that was, I don't know, I thought broken at the time because I can still not move it. I watched that game and he's telling us, me, you didn't watch the game. We watched that game. Nobody said, he said, we were not sitting back. Nobody said we were sitting back. Como were sitting back. And they were doing that because they knew we had no clue how to break them down. That is the issue. We were not sitting down. Como were there to be beaten. They weren't good. Like, let that sink in. They had that cross and they had that Nico Paz goal. But other than that, some shots here and there. But that's not a team that was going to put a decent team. If Roma played them, they would have lost against Roma or Atalanta. They would have lost on the day. Nobody's saying we sat back, but we cannot create chances. We struggle to be dangerous in and around the box. And then post game is like, oh, we made some stupid decisions in and around the box. We didn't shoot when we needed to shoot. It's the easy excuse where you sit back and you're like, you're making it sound way too simple. He makes it sound like, oh, if we make the right pass, we will win that game. That's what he said. He said, well, if we won the game, everybody will be talking differently. Yeah, no shit, because you won the game, and a lot of people will kind of brush the performance to the side, but you cannot say these things because you didn't win the game. We haven't won a game for 6 games right now. We haven't won a game for 6 games straight. If that's not a problem, then I don't know what a problem is. I'm sorry. Then maybe I'm the issue. But he doesn't want to address that. He doesn't want to address that. So again, we can take Spalletti or Palladino, whatever. Are those the solutions? No. They're not the solutions. Will they get something better out of this team? Maybe, because right now he's getting absolutely nothing out of this team. But remember when Motta got sacked, I'm like, a lot of these players are the same. A player like Cambiaso who talks, his agents talks, and he's bad. He's just bad. That's one of the few examples. We don't have leaders. The leaders in this team have won nothing. Who and what are they going to lead? You have players we overpaid. I said in the summer, Conceição, it's insane that we spent 45 million to him. Yes, on his day, good player, but he doesn't have his day often. And again, we're heavily relying on it, so it makes it worse. Same for Yildiz, didn't have good game. It's done. We have nothing. If we don't have these players doing anything, we have nothing. And that's not okay. We struggle to create through the middle. We have so many issues at Real Madrid. Actually, Real Madrid can actually embarrass us. We can go to the Bernabeu and probably book our biggest result, our biggest loss in Europe ever. Like, it's on the board. The way we play right now, it's really on the board. The way we concede goals and counterattacks and we make mistakes and we don't create, it's on the board. So, is he on the hot seat? Yes. For the results and the fact that he's not the guy the management wanted, and for the fact as well that, it's 23, 24 games in with him as well, and there's no identity whatsoever. So I don't really want to talk about Palladino and Spalletti at this moment in time because it's not the solution. It comes from the top to bottom. One year we went older players, then we went younger players. There's no middle ground. There's no experience. The squad is poorly built. You have a coach the management doesn't believe in. That's a recipe for a disaster. We're only a couple of points off the top, but Como are ahead of us. It's all close, so it looks semi-decent on the table. But on paper, when you watch the games, on tape, excuse me, and you sit back, you can just say we are in trouble. If we play like this another month or two, the season is absolutely gone, and you cannot do anything about it, because this team has no backbone to turn it around, even with a new coach. So, intense hours, but this week could be massive for Tudor because he lost already and we had no shot against Como. And probably have no shot against Real Madrid as well. And the way I've seen Lazio play, we have very little shot as well against Lazio when we have a midweek game and they can just chill, I guess. So I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you think we can salvage, quote unquote, the season if we bring in a Palladino or Spalletti, or is it more about players and less about coaching? You guys, let me know. Or do you believe Tudor can still turn this around? Let me know in the comment sections, and I will speak to you guys later for a podcast with Julian. So definitely tune for that because we will discuss it all during the podcast.